Hey guys, it's Mark with the Daily Hustle Show, and today we're going to be talking about how you can get to the next level by creating rapport. Rapport is huge when it comes down to sales, and it also is very important if we're not even in the sales industry, we're just in the life industry, right? Rapport can be built in any way, shape, or form. Rapport can be built anywhere, essentially, right? Rapport always starts with questions. Okay, it always starts with understanding the person or the people that you're talking to. As we discussed in many videos before, we talked about deeper level questions, next level questions, right? So that is how you create rapport. There's always a level of questions that we will ask in the sales industry, and also when you're, when you're dating somebody and something like that. There's always questions. You want to just get to know the person, right? In a lot of ways, a sales appointment or a sales call, whatever you want to call it, is very much like a first date. You're there to essentially understand what they're looking for, which is usually they're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, right? Or whatever they're looking for. It's 2023, you never really know anymore. But whatever they're looking for. And then you want to see if your product, your solution is going to fit their need. Maybe if they're looking for a boyfriend and you're the guy ready to go, there you go. If you're looking for a girlfriend and you're the girl, there you go. You might be the girl for her. At the end of the day, you want to see if your solution matches and succeeds their pain or their need. Now, in the sales industry, it's the same exact thing. Rapport always begins with questions. Okay, so I always like to tell people that the first question is never a rapport building question. It's like a surface question. Okay, and then what happens is you ask a deeper level question that now is starting the level of rapport. However, it's still not there yet. Okay, I'm not telling you to ask 13 questions and when you get to number 13, your rapport is strong. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that your first level question is usually a surface level question. Okay, it's usually it could be a truthful question or a not so truthful question. Sometimes they're just asking you a question to be left alone, essentially, almost like, "Hey, are you available later? Because I can't talk right now." That's a question. Are you available later? They don't really want to deal with you, right? So when someone comes to you and you're having a discussion, they have a question. It's always the surface level question. It does not matter what it is. Then you want to go down to the next level and you want to ask something that branches off of that question. In NLP, which is Neuro Linguistic Programming, we actually call that chunking it down. Okay, and that's an NLP phrase, chunk it down, chunk it up, right? Just depends on what you're doing. So if somebody comes to me and asks me a question, I immediately will respond depending on what the question. If it's a simple, yes or no, you just say yes or no. But if you're trying to get to know the person and you're trying to create rapport, you want to ask multiple questions. And there's no numerical value on how many questions to ask after the surface level question. It's just not a valid question, right? Because I've created rapport with people without even talking to them. Sometimes it's when I was in the B2C world, the animals would run up to me, the dog, the cat, I would pet them. Right off the bat, instant rapport. Now, I'm not saying it's strong as hell. What I'm saying is that rapport has already begun, and there were no questions that have been asked at that point. Okay? Because for that individual, they want to know, I wonder if they like animals. Well, that question has been answered. I don't need to really go any deeper at that stage. The rapport has already started. I do go deeper, but at the same time, the rapport has already been established at that point. Once rapport has been established, you have to nurse it. It's not one of those things like once you have it, that's it. It stays. No, you have to nurse it. Rapport is like a baby. You literally have to nurse that thing the entire way through. Okay? And it's not like when a child turns 18, you just let them go. Like, all right, I'm no longer your parent. No, I'm still your parent. Just things are a little different now that you're 18. There's certain things I can and cannot do at this stage, right? However, you're still nursing them, so to speak. You're still their parent. Well, when you're going through your sales appointment, and then after the deal has been closed, you all know I don't like that phrase. A lot of sales reps, and certain industries, you won't hear from them again. It's like, yeah, you turned 18, I'm all set. You have to continuously nurse it so that rapport is there. That is where the referrals come in. That is where the trust comes in. Okay, that's where word of mouth comes in. Okay, now, how many times have we seen at a restaurant a very, very attentive waiter or waitress, right? Wait staff. Very attentive, very respectful, very nice, just a well-mannered individual, right? After they drop the check and you sign that check and you pay them, you don't hear from them again. They're no longer attentive. Why is that? Because they did their job. They closed that deal. They did. Their job is to make you happy, get you what you want until you pay, and once you pay, that's it. They walk away. And you really don't see them anymore. Okay? I actually have experience as a waiter. That's actually not how I started my career. I started my career in a grocery store, but then I made my way into being a part of a wait staff at a chain restaurant, then a privately owned restaurant. I actually really enjoyed it. I would never do what I just explained. I would never just talk, be great, be personable, drop off the check, and then after I get paid, I walk away. No, I would continue the rapport. And depending on where I was, some people, yeah, they pay the bill, they leave. There's really no opportunity for you to talk with them and create that long established rapport so that when they come back, they ask for you, right? Or their friends ask for you. Okay, we all have restaurants that we go to that we request a specific waiter or waitress because we enjoy how they interact with us. Okay, so as I said, it has to be nursed. Some people will say nurtured, whatever. It has to be taken care of throughout the entire process, and the process never ends, especially in sales, it never ends. Now, let's go back to the beginning when we were talking about rapport and how it starts with the surface level question. Okay, and you know me, I'm full of examples, so I'm going to end up giving you guys some examples in a few. So let's talk about a surface level question. Okay, a surface level question is usually typically something like with a broad stroke, which would be, what do you do again? Who are you calling from? What company are you calling from again? Something like that. It's very broad because you'll be like, oh, I'm calling from 123. No, you would most likely say, oh, thanks for asking. I'm actually calling from 123. This is what we offer and this is what we do. And I was just calling to see if anything that we can offer you is going to help your company in any way, shape, or form. You see how there's multiple things that were said there? And then that allows them to now get to the point where they're going to ask another question, and then you're going to ask another question, and that's where the rapport is being built. The deeper level questions or the next level questions is extremely imperative when we're having this discussion about rapport. Because once rapport is established, you have to nurture it, nurse it. However, once it's broken, it's never coming back. Ever. I don't care what anybody says. Once the paper's shriveled up, it's never perfect again. Okay, so your job is to keep it on that straight and narrow the entire time. And to do that, you need to have ethics, you need to have morals, you need to be honest. Okay? At any point, people can sniff out when you're not being honest, and you don't want that, right? So when I'm sitting down in the B2C world and I'm having a discussion, this is typically what I look like. I usually always lean over to the side and I talk like this. That's how I am. And I lower my voice. If you notice the last few videos, I've tried to keep my voice kind of monotone. And the reason for that is the same way people always say, oh, I love listening to that bedtime magic station, radio station, because the voice is soothing. It's easier for you to understand me and comprehend what I'm saying, and it's easier for you to listen to these 18, 19-minute videos that I make because my voice is a lot lower, and my voice is easier to understand and listen to. And there's also different times when I want to raise my voice and get all excited, get all happy and hyped up, and there's times when I have to bring it down. In every single sales call that I had in the B2C world, whenever I came to the time of presenting my solutions and my pricing for my client, I would always bring my voice down because I would see their mannerisms change. They would understand a little bit better. They would communicate with me a little bit better and comprehend the information a little bit better and absorb it. Okay? And also we'll get into, you want to be excited when it's the right time. You want to be monotone when it's the right time. Your tonality is extremely important. You have to be, like a chameleon. You have to change into this and change into that based on the conversation that you're having. I'm not saying lie. I'm saying you need to kind of adjust how you are and the things that you say. Depends on your surroundings and your environment that you're in. So when you get a question that's a surface level question, how do you develop rapport? You don't always want to go looking for rapport. It should be established naturally. If you have a sales process and you're in the B2C world and it typically takes you about 2 hours to go through the very beginning of you walking through that door to the very, very end until that agreement has been signed, if it usually takes you 2 hours and you're at the very end of your discussion and it's been 40 minutes, there's a good chance you just missed another hour and 20 some odd minutes there because you usually take 2 hours to go from start to finish. But now you're at start to just about finished in 40 minutes. Are you going to take another hour and 20 minutes? That's 3 times the amount of time that you've already spent there. You see what I'm saying? So now you're trying to find rapport. No, you cannot find rapport. It just becomes established naturally based on the conversation that you're having with your clients, based on the questions that you're asking. Okay, and here we go. We're 10 minutes in, you're going to get your first example. Let's say we do a lot of B2C, we do a lot of window examples, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I also done a lot of cars, so examples. So let's go to the B2B world. Okay, someone's going to say, who are you with again? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm with 123, and we offer these solutions for companies that are looking to improve their inventory software, something like that, whatever it might be, or their cybersecurity issues, whatever. You guys are having a lot of cyber attacks over the last 6 months. We're a company that eliminates 90% of those, whatever it might be. Okay, that will now tell the other person, okay, this is what they do. That other person's now going to reply back and say, okay, you're like the 8th person that's called me this week about this. That's a statement. You have to have a follow-up question to the original, right? Which would be something along the lines of, oh, I'm not the first one. And they'll hear it in your voice if you're on the phone, because typically in the B2B world, a lot of the information that you're getting to set up appointments is usually on the phone or via email. So they can sense the laughter. You're like, oh, so you're telling me I'm not the only one, And right off the bat, even if you close your eyes, the way I said it, so you're telling me I'm not the only one, you can hear that I'm smiling. You can hear it. You can sense it, right? It's human sensory, okay? So now they may chuckle. They may not. They may say, no. Like I said, you're the 8th one. I'd be like, well, if I'm the 10th, then we have a problem. What if, you know what I mean? So at that point, if you can say to them, and then you see how I paused? I'm pausing to show you, like, that's what I would naturally do. Well, if I was a 10th, then we'd have a problem. You see what I did? So pausing there, it makes you almost uncomfortable. You're like, wait, did he forget what he was saying? Well, something wrong? Something happened with his camera, right? You start to think things. You start to wonder, because I just stopped like that. That's human behavior. You have to understand the human behavior, and we're going to get into that in other shows. Now, they're now going to come back and say, yeah, like I said, you're the 8th person that's called. I said, well, if I was the 10th, we'd have a problem, something along those lines, right? Then they're going to reply typically back and say, yep. And I would say, look, I imagine a woman or a man in your position, you're extremely busy. You don't have a lot of time to talk to me. So I'm going to ask you straight up, is this a good time in your busy schedule to chat? If they say, no, it's honestly not. Okay, when would be a next best time that we can go over some information? What will be the next best time? Okay, so you see how you're showing them respect of their time, respect of their position, right? You're allowing them to understand that I respect you as a person. I respect your time, I respect your position, and what your duties are for your job. And I'm confirming, is this a good time? Because a lot of people get on the phone and they immediately think this is a good time. You have no respect for their time. Respect is earned, right? So we're now getting into that rapport with them. They now know, you know what, out of the other 8, and we actually, before I even get there, before I even say that, we're going to get to that, because that's actually really important. What I was about to say, it's a key point. So now they say, you know what, actually, what's today? Today's actually Wednesday, so Friday would be better in the early afternoon, because I typically am done with meetings by 12. So anything, 1 o'clock and on, just so I can have a quick lunch, I'm good. Okay, perfect. So would 1 o'clock work? Or would you rather do a 1:30 so you have some time to get back to your desk or get yourself situated for our call? Actually, 1:30 would be better. Yeah, let's do 1:30. Okay, perfect. So I got you down here, Melissa, for 1:30. Okay. If you got a couple seconds, I just want to know, do you have, since I'm the 8th person that's called, do you have like 8 other meetings set up as well? Because I want to make sure that I'm not just throwing information at you and then it's just kind of bouncing off a wall. And that's just something I would say, because it's normal human words that we would say to people, right? And they would chuckle, be like, no, I think I've only set a couple of meetings, so far so good. All right, great. Well, if I begin to annoy you, just send me that, do not disturb text, the BRB. You make a joke, right? Now, I wouldn't say BRB to a high level exec, but I would say just send like a, that text message sent on silent or silent notifications. I go, I'll get the hint. They usually start to laugh. Do you see how I asked all of these individual questions before we even discussed the confirmation of at 1:30 we're going to talk about XYZ? I really didn't give them much information. I just respected his time, or her time, because I use Melissa as the example. So I'm respecting her time and what she has to say. So at that stage, the rapport is starting. Remember, it's not completely there, but it's starting. Now, when you get into that appointment, that conversation at 1:30 on Friday, you're still developing rapport. You're not completely there yet. So now you're going to be, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. They would say, no problem at all. Is this still a good time? Yes, absolutely. Okay, just want to make sure. Did you have a good lunch? They'll say, yep. Say, all right. Well, enough with the small talk. I know we reached out with you originally on Wednesday. Is that correct? Yes. All right. And I know you're a busy gal, so I don't want to, keep you for too long. I do want to ask you, what are some of the great things that you love about your ABC company? So now you're getting them to sell themselves about why they're in the position that they're in, why they like the company that they're working for. Your high-level executives will never tell you, I never said I liked it here. Some may joke about it and they'll be like, I'm just kidding. No, I love it here. And they'll start telling you all this stuff. And so, someone in your position, Melissa, as successful as you are, as talented as you are, what made you choose ABC Company over all the other competitors? Again, you're helping them talk and convince themselves and sell themselves as to why they are where they are with that company. You're creating rapport with them. And then you're going to write all that stuff down and take notes. All right, perfect. Well, thanks for sharing that. I have to have a great understanding of you and potential clients, so it helps me understand which avenue we're going to take. So, you've been doing this for X, Y, Z years. You started working with this company for this reason. This is why you stay. You seem to be very happy there. So I typically like to keep my conversations positive. So tell me what your company can do to improve ABC or 1, 2, 3, whatever. Tell me what can be improved with your current company. So now, instead of me saying, what's wrong with your current company, I'm saying, tell me what can improve. Because you're asking them what they think. And typically the person you're talking to may not be the owner. You're talking to a representative of the company. So now they're looking at it and saying, well, wow, my ideas really matter. My input really matters. Because you just keep asking them questions and questions. And then they might say, oh, I'm telling you, the inventory, I would say we have to improve our inventory software, or our ordering, parts and ordering, whatever, has to be improved. Okay, perfect. And if you could improve that, Melissa, how would you specifically improve it? If you could make that adjustment for the company, what would you do? Now, Melissa feels like she owns the company. Remember, we're assuming she doesn't. She also told us that she doesn't. So at this point, Melissa feels that she owns the company, and she's telling us, wow, this is a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm about to give reasons of how I can solve that problem. We can do this, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that. Now, what you're doing is trying to see if the information that Melissa, this example, the sales executive, we want to see if the information that she's given us and the potential solutions that she's given us is actually going to match some of the solutions that our product can give to them. Does that make sense? So we're writing all this stuff down. She might tell us 4 or 5 different things. Only one of them is an option that we can actually solve, right, with our solution. And then we'll get into that and we'll start to focus on that. But look how much rapport has been built from the, hey, I'm kind of busy right now, but Friday would work better. We narrowed down a time to get on the phone. We narrowed down what the issues are. We narrowed down how happy that she is with the company, why she chose the company over the other companies. Why does she like that company over the other companies? What would she change if she could change anything to make it more successful, make it easier for you, Melissa, or your employees? What would you change? Even if it's a couple things, tell me what's one of the biggest things you would change right now. You're making her feel like she is the most important person in the room, because in reality she is. You're the one talking to her. You want to build a rapport. Never once did I challenge my ethical code, challenge my moral code, or did I lie? All I did was ask questions, right? That's all I did. That creates rapport. And then if she says, look, I only have about 15 minutes for that Friday 1:30 call on Friday. I only have about 15 minutes. Respect her time. When you're about 10 minutes in, say, even if she's talking, that's usually the best. I do like to cut off people, and I like to cut them off to confirm what they said to me, because now they know that I am taking it seriously and I'm respecting what they said. So what I would do is, if I would set a little timer on my phone, probably like off to the side, right? And once it reaches 10 minutes, because she told me she has 15, I'd say, Melissa, I'm so sorry. I hate to cut you off. I just want to let you know we're at about 10 minutes. You said you have about 15. Are we good on time? Is it a hard stop in the next 5 minutes, or did anything free up while we were chatting? She's going to say either no, I have a hard stop in 5 minutes because I have a meeting to get into at 1:50, whatever it is, or I have to prepare for a meeting at 2 o'clock, whatever it might be. Or she might say, no, we're good. We have probably another 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to set a timer. All right, I just want to make sure. Keep going, please. You're now allowing her, because we're talking about Melissa right now, you're now allowing her to understand that I respect your time. I respect what you're telling me. I respect everything that you're going over with me. It's extremely important to me to understand all this information, and I'm helping you help me. Okay, so it's all creating the level of rapport. Rapport, especially in the B2B world, it may take months to get an agreement signed. Months. But now if you just back off and say, okay, they signed it, now you don't talk to them anymore, that goes against what the transition of sales really is now. Okay, the whole one and done thing, the whole old school car sales rep thing where you just literally go in there, they're your best friend, you sign the deal on the dotted line, you never hear from them again, right? Because all they're looking at is closing deals, doing volume. Okay? What I care about is doing volume with potential clients in my pipeline. That's what I care about. But for me to get to that point, I have to qualify them. And for me to qualify, I have my own little process. And if it's going well, the call might take 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, if it's not going so well, it may not take that long. Maybe they're just not interested right now. When will you be interested? I'll be interested then. And then we have another discussion, right? So again, guys, rapport is extremely, extremely easy to develop. However, it has to develop organically. You cannot go in there. If they say, if Melissa were to say, well, to be honest, I really like this company because they do a lot of golf outings. And I'm a huge fan of golf. If you don't like golf or don't know anything about golf, do not say, oh, I love golf, just to get on her good side. No. Say, okay, perfect. I've never actually even played golf. I like watching it. I've never played golf. I'm assuming it's fun. And then she'll start to tell you a little bit about it. Do you play around here? You ask all these questions. They're all rapport questions, right? If they tell you that they went to a certain college, you might want to ask them if it's something that you can associate with. Maybe they went to the same college as you, or you know someone who went there. Oh, I had a friend that went there and graduated in 2011. Oh, nice. Yeah, I graduated in 2002. But yeah, good school. Yeah, no, absolutely. I was only there a few times. We met for dinner a few times, them and I. But yeah, it's a great school. I didn't mean to digress. Continue. So you're creating the rapport because you're making connections with them. All rapport is just connections, right? And when they start rapport, it starts off with a surface level question, okay? And that can either be a dead end question, or it can be a question that can have or require follow up questions, or deeper level questions, or next level questions. That is how you develop rapport. And this is definitely going to be a 2-part video, because we went through one example about rapport with, the hypothetical Melissa, high-level account executive, that was able to go through some information with us and start to tell us a little bit. In the next show, what we're going to do is really dive into rapport and show how you can do it in a couple of different ways, a couple different industries, whether you are in the hospitality business, okay, whether you're in restaurants or hotels or something like that, whether you're in the car business, whether you're in the door-to-door business. I'm going to show you a little bit about how you can get rapport and start it up the right way, strong enough to make another appointment with the client or clients or prospects, to the point where it just comes naturally. And it's going to come down to certain questions and stuff like that you're going to want to ask every single client, because you want it to be repetitive, but you want it to be human. Like I always say, keep it human. This is Mark with the Daily Hustle Show. Guys, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. We also have TikTok as well that we post on a daily basis, usually 1 or 2 times. And we also have Instagram that has some updated videos and some updated sales and success tips on there as well. Like and subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments.